Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our alternative audio coverage of Argentina against Australia in the round of 16, which is taking place at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium. I'm your alternative commentator, Nicholas Jones, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. And I have alongside for this match tonight, I have alongside me Paul James. Paul, good evening. It's Australia's day of destiny. Can they deliver against the two-time world champions?
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, everybody. It's a mountain for Australia to climb today. They are up against a very, very strong Argentinian team. Messi is just about hitting form. He looked very good in the final match. And against Poland, and Alvarez, McAllister has also added goals. They have Di Maria on the bench if they want to pull him as well, and they also have Gomez up front alongside Messi and Alvarez. For Australia, they've chosen to go with a 4-4-2. I just don't think that will be good enough today. I think they've played very well in this competition so far, though, with Australia. I think they've actually surprised a few people just to get out the group, Nick. A victory over Denmark, victory over Tunisia. They even took the lead against France before France sort of took back control of the game, if you will. Leckie has been impressive, the number 7. Duke has bagged a couple of goals as well. So you never know. You might see a shock, but it's an absolute mountain for Australia to climb today, Nick.
As I mentioned to you just before we came on air, that in comparison to Australia, Argentina had very little time to rest after their last match against Poland. So this could hamper them a bit.
Possibly. It's definitely true. They had to play a lot of their strongest players going into that final game. They weren't able to rest some, like the way France was and Brazil was and perhaps Spain was. They needed to win that final match to top the group. So they did play a lot of their best players, including Lionel Messi. So yes, there is a little shortage of rest time. But I mean, at the same time, a lot of these players are used to playing games condensed together. Most of these players, especially Messi, he'll be playing European football. So there's others as well within this lineup. Alvarez will be playing Champions League football with Manchester City. Fernandez with Benfica. Of course, even McAllister, who's at Brighton. They have a condensed schedule in the Premier League and FA Cup games coming up. So, I mean, they're going to be used to that. But it can be a disadvantage, especially in these warmer conditions, Nick.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually going to touch on Mitch Duke. He's actually, as you mentioned, one of the standout players for Australia, and he's certainly making a name for himself in the international squad and he currently plays for Fagiano Okayama, which is a club in Japan's second tier, and once had a trial with West Ham United. So he's certainly impressing on the world stage when not many people have ever heard of him.
This is true. He's definitely putting his name out there. There may be some clubs interested after the World Cup in getting his signature. He is on the wrong side of 30, but at the same time, if he's scoring goals, clubs won't mind that too much. So I could see perhaps a championship club possibly wanting to maybe be willing to take a risk on him.
I have a feeling a mid-tier club like Reading might want to take a look at him. But now we're going to go through the lineup, starting with Argentina. In goal, number 23, Damian Martinez. Number 8, Marcos Acuna. Number 13, Christian Romero. Number 19, Nicolas Otamendi. Number 26, Nahuel Molina. Number 7, Rodrigo de Paul. Number 20, Alexis McAllister. Number 24, Enzo Fernandez. Number 9, Julian Alvarez. Number 10, the captain, Lionel Messi. Number 17, Alejandro Gomez. And as for Australia, in goal, number 1, Matt Ryan, the captain. Number 2, Milos Denyenek. Number 4, Kai Rawls. Number 16, Aziz Behich. Number 19, Harry Sutar. Number 7, Matthew Leckie. Number 13, Aaron Moy. Number 22, Jackson Irvine. Number 26, Keanu Bacchus. Number 14, Riley McGree. And number 15, Mitch Duke. And for Australia, this is their first time in the round of 16 since Germany in 2006. They faced Italy in the round of 16 and lost 1-0. Italy, of course, went on to become Italy went on to become the winners of that year's tournament. Could this be a bad omen for Australia as they go into this one, because Argentina are still ranked as one of the favourites to win overall?
Quite possibly. It's that Argentina were my prediction to win it. They've got a very good squad, but it could be an omen, and players have to be careful not to let this get on top of them too much. I know athletes are very superstitious, so they have to be careful not to let that play on their minds, and they've just got to go out and give their all, because they're coming up against a group of world-class athletes that are at the very top of their game and playing extremely good football. So you can't afford, really, if you're in the Australian ranks, you can't afford to be thinking about that. You've got to focus on this game and the challenges that lie ahead.
Quite a few people listening may be familiar with some of the Australian names because they play in the UK. Nathaniel Atkinson and Kai Rawls play for Heart of Midlothian in Scotland. In Scotland, Bailey Wright is on the substitutes bench, is at Sunderland. Harry Sutar of Stoke City. Aaron Moy is a regular at Celtic. Cameron Devlin is also at Hearts. Riley McGree at Middlesbrough, and Keanu Bacchus of Brighton. Brighton, you said it was Paul, although he is actually at St Mirren. I've just checked. But apologies for a slip of the tongue there. We've also, I personally have to say the main man. I personally have to say the main man to look out for. Is Mitch Duke. It was actually McAllister. I apologise. Seeing as we're now in the knockouts, do you think this is a game that this is a game that will go into extra time or beyond?
I think it's unlikely, Nick. I think Argentina will get the job done in 90 minutes. My prediction, and I usually get these wrong, but my prediction is 2-0 to Australia. No, 2-0 to Argentina. Sorry.
Talk about a slip of the tongue. Let's just hope. Talk about a slip of the tongue. But one thing else I should mention before the players come onto the pitch, they're just gathering around at the centre. They're just gathering around at the foot of the tunnel before coming out. Is that in the 1994 in the Intercontinental Playoff Final for the '94 World Cup, Australia did actually meet Argentina. In that particular match, Argentina won 2-1 on aggregate, not surprisingly. And one of the forwards in the team was one Graham Arnold. So he's been around the Australian national team longer than you think. And he was actually part of the management team under Gus Hiddink that got Australia through to the round of 16 in the 2006 World Cup. So he know so A, he knows what it's like to play against Argentina, and B, he knows what it's like to coach a team at that level, particularly the so-called golden generation of 2006. But it's certainly an honour. It'll certainly be an honour for the current crop of Australia players to live up to that name. And the players are now making their way out of the tunnel. They're going to assemble onto the centre of the pitch for the national anthems, being led out by the match officials. We will touch on them. We will touch on them shortly. And Lionel Messi, the burden of Argentina's squad is likely riding on him. Should Argentina lose, this may well be his last ever World Cup match, and a big one for him too. His 1000th career starts in professional football, and his 169th cap for Argentina. And what an occasion to do it! The players are now gathered at the centre of the pitch, and we get ready to pause for the national anthems. And we will start with the national anthem of Argentina.
The national anthem of Australia.
والآن يمكن الاستمرار بالوقوف لعزف النشيد الوطني لأستراليا.
That was both national anthems of Argentina and Australia. A true festival of football, says one of the advertising hoardings, although I think that was a reference to the FIFA Fan Festival. So ignore what I said there. The customary handshakes and the high fives between both sets of players, and we can now go through the formation. Argentina are in a 4-1-2-3 formation with Martinez in goal, back four of Acuna, Otamendi, Romero, and Molina, and McAllister, Fernandez, and De Paul in midfield, and the forward three are Alvarez, Messi, and Gomez. And on the substitutes bench, only one player has a yellow card, and that is Gonzalo Montiel. So he's certainly got to watch his back. And Lionel Messi and the Australian captain Matt Ryan going through the handshake procedures. And now we can look at our match officials. Simon Marciniak of Poland is the main referee. He officiated at the France-Denmark match, booked 3 players. And on VAR is Tomasz Kwiatkowski of Poland, assistant VAR Marco Fritz. And the other VAR referees are Alessandro Galatini of Italy, and the support video assistant referee is Benoit Milo of France. The team lineup now for Australia, I should say, a 4-4-2 formation with Ryan in goal, the back four of Behic, Ralls, Sutar, and Dejanek, and in midfield, Bacchus, Irvine, Moy, and Lecky, and up front, the 2 forwards, Duke and McGree. And I've just got to mention quickly, our assistant referee is Paweł Sokolnicki of Poland, and his assistant and the second assistant referee is Tomasz Wiktovic, also Poland. Marco Escobar of Guatemala is the fourth official, and is the fourth official. And so the players now gathering around on the centre of the pitch, and Lionel Messi, as I mentioned, his 1,000th career match for both club and country. So yes. So as I mentioned earlier, a big one for him. It'll be Australia to kick us off as we count down to this crucial game between both sides. Don't forget, being that this is the knockout stage, this could go to extra time or penalties, though Paul doesn't think so. The referee now making sure that everyone is in the correct positions and that we are good to go. Bit of a delay at the moment. One of the midfielder players warming them, doing a bit of a jog, and away we go then for Australia against Argentina at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. Australia wearing yellow shirts and green shorts, white socks. Argentina in the striped blue and white and black shorts. And I think it was Argentina who had the early offensive, or was it Australia? No, it was indeed Australia. So Australia have a throw in. Australia are playing from left to right by the looks of it, and Argentina right to left. And the ball cleared away now by Argentina, and the ball is now with Argentina, I should say, and that is through Alejandro Gomez, and Alejandro Gomez has to pass back down to his defense, and Alejandro Gomez has to pass back down to the defense, and the ball is now with now Molina. Molina tried to do a through ball, I think, to Julian Alvarez, but Australia seems to be doing quite well at the moment. The ball is now in defence with Dejanek, and it's now been cleared for. It's been now cleared out of goal by Ryan, headed by Aaron Moy by the looks of it, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Keanu Bacchus, or was it? Or was it actually Behic? But Argentina. You said that Lionel Messi was starting to go into his stride, but Argentina against Australia, Paul, I feel that they've still got to work for it.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be easy. Australia are here on merit; they earn their way there. I don't for a single minute think it's going to be a walkover. But at the same time, I just think that Argentina are just going to have too much quality for Australia. I must say you're doing very, very well so far with those numbers on the back of those Australian shirts, because they're barely legible.
Yes, illegible numbers on the back of shirts has become something of a concern in recent years. People are saying, find ways to make numbers bolder, but we're getting off the subject here, and it's now Rodrigo de Paul for Argentina, and he had to pass back down to, I think that was Again, that was Molina, or was it Romero? No, it was Romero. And Romero now passing this time to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez passes up to Marcos Acuna, and Acuna now passing back down to Nicolas Romero. Romero doing a short cross to that might have been Molina. Now back towards Fernandez, and Fernandez now passes up the wing to I think that was Acuna. Acuna now back to Fernandez. Australia still looking to find a way through, but it's Argentina on the offensive, and the ball is now with Alejandro Gomez. Alejandro Gomez tries to cross, but caught by Australia. That was good, but caught by Australia. That was good use of the ball by Bacchus, I think it was. Now the ball is back with Romero, and Romero has to pass to Martinez. But Martinez all the same passes back out to I think that was Romero. Now the ball is once again with Nicolas Otamendi. Otamendi passing down to Fernandez, and through pass by Fernandez to Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi passes to one of his teammates. Now it goes back towards Romero. Romero now doing a long cross to I think that was across to Molina, but the early attempts on goal by Australia. I think was there a use of handball? I think it might have come across. I think it might have come off Bacchus. I think it might have come off Bacchus, but in my defence, he was trying to defend.
Well, he was, but he had his arm out, Nick. That I've seen them given for that. They didn't even take it to VAR, but I have seen them given for that. The arm is out; it's not by his side, and it does prevent the cross from coming in as a consequence. So I've seen them given, but it didn't even go to VAR. That's interesting.
Yeah, and a foul has just occurred whilst you were talking, and it was by Irvine on Fernandez. How do you see this one? Or was it Duke? I think it might have been Duke on Fernandez. How do you see that one?
I saw that as a bit 50-50, to be honest. I think they both went for the ball, and they both connected with each other, to be honest. I think that's a little bit harsh on Australia, that.
5 minutes, just over 5 minutes in, Argentina 0, Australia 0. And Romero now passing the ball back to Martinez in goal. Martinez now passes the ball out to Otamendi. Now back down the wing to Romero. Now he's passed again to I think that was Molina. But Australia are looking menacing. I think Jackson Irvine might have been one of the players closest to the ball, and now Mitch Duke was trying to get to it as well. But Argentina and good interception by Milos Dejanek of Australia, and he did really well to clear that one away. So throw into Argentina, but all the same, good interception by Dejanek.
Yeah, they're working hard, Australia. They're I can see that they're very motivated, focused for this game, and they started off quite well, in fairness.
It's certainly showing, but Argentina appears to have more ball control. It's De Paul now passing backwards to Fernandez. Now it's with Messi. Now back towards Fernandez. Fernandez now entering the circle in the centre. Does a through pass again, but only ends up with Messi, who collided with one of the defenders, who collided with one of the midfielders. I think that might have been Bacchus. By the looks of it, indeed it was. So how do you see that one? An elbow into his shoulder, by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looked. Well, he obviously impeded him, didn't he? I don't think there was anything malicious so much with the elbow, but I think he definitely intended to impede him. Definitely a foul, in my opinion.
Okay, so would have likely been given a disciplinary caution, but as it stands, it does little to influence anything. And as we approach 7.5 minutes, it's still Argentina 0, Australia 0. Australia take the throw, and the ball has now been passed back to Ryan in goal. Although Alvarez looked like he was going to get close to it, almost headed towards someone in Australia by Duke, and the ball is now with Otamendi. Otamendi now passes up to Acuna, and Acuna passes back down the wing to Fernandez. Now the ball has been passed around to Romero. Romero again now finding Nuhal Molina, but tackled very well by the number 14 Riley McGree, and a bit of a moment for Mitch Duke, who went down, but he obviously got back up. Seems to be okay. The ball is now with Alejandro Gomez, and Gomez now trying to cross to Alvarez, and the ball is now been passed down to Rodrigo de Paul. Now the ball is crossed down wing to Molina. Now Molina to Fernandez. Now it's with Lionel Messi, I think it is, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was de Paul. Now again it's with Fernandez. Fernandez passing to Acuna, and Acuna passing the ball around to Messi. Now back towards Acuna. Acuna now with Fernandez. It's Argentina still have control of the ball. They're pressing towards it. It's currently with McAllister, who scored in the last match against Poland. But Marciniak almost calls play to a halt. So I think he might have just now, and it's given a free kick. And it's given a free kick to Argentina, which they quickly take. It's still with Alejandro Gomez, and Gomez now towards Lionel Messi. Good interception by Australia, and Australia now looking to try and make a break for it, but it's still with Argentina. McAllister passing to Fernandez, and Fernandez now finding Alvarez, but the ball has but the ball goes out. But the ball goes out of play. Argentina very close to try making a break for it, Paul.
Yeah, he might have just strayed offside, but Argentina are kind of very patient in their build-up, looking to punch holes in the Australian defence. And it's at the moment it's clever play by them. They're keeping possession, and they're knocking the ball around nicely, creating one or two opportunities. So far, Australia's defence is holding nice and tight.
Yes, but we've also got to realise that Australia are being patient as well. They're not messing about either. So they're proving at this moment in time to be pretty worthy challengers for Argentina. As Lecky tries to get hold of the ball, but it just goes over the line. I think that was a mistimed use of the foot, but overall, but it resulted in an Argentina throw-in. A player goes down, but the referee says play on. The ball is now with Messi, and Messi now looking to try and find someone to pass to, just so they can make a break for it. It's with Acuna now back towards Fernandez, and a long-range cross again to Nahuel Molina, but Molina nowhere near, and Graham Arnold shouting his orders from the touch, and Graham Arnold shouting his orders from the touchline, because of his experience in the national team, and the fact that he helped heading to the round of 16 in 2006. Although as I say that, Australia had to were trying to take the ball off Argentina, and they almost did it, but it's now been conceded back to Alvarez, and Alvarez now to Rodrigo de Paul, back towards Alvarez, and Alvarez now looking for a gap. He's trying to break through, but well held again by Australia. And I think that might have been Aziz Behich, but the throw-in once again taken by Argentina. And Cunha to I think that's Alejandro Gomez. Yes, indeed, it is Gomez. And Gomez doing well to hold on to the ball. Now he's passed back down towards Acuna. Now the ball is once again with Fernandez. Fernandez passes down the wing to Romero, and Romero has no choice, I feel, but to pass to Martinez in goal. Now the ball is back out to Acuna. Now once again it's with Enzo Fernandez. Now Now it's been passed down the wing to Christian Romero. Now the ball is with Molina, and Molina Molina tried to get to Alvarez, but tackled, but tackled by Australia. Let's take another look at this, or rather not, because Australia have now retaken the ball. But it's that. But you have to. But you have to say, Paul, that Argentina are starting to attack more.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw the possession come up a few moments ago, Nick. It looks like it's fairly dominant to Argentina from their standpoint. I think it was at 78 when I just glanced at it. I think that this is what you've got to come to expect in this game. I think what you want to see from Australia is them to maybe kind of catch Argentina out on the counter, defend well, and play a solid game that way. But we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, it's still early days. We're only just about going into the 14th minute.
Yes, indeed, we are. It's Messi to Fernandez. Now the ball has been passed to Otamendi. Otamendi almost losing the ball to Australia, but I think that was almost McAllister. But Australia have done really well to hold on, and a player has gone down. It's Acuna, and a good use of the somersaults, I should say. And it's Jackson Irvine. Jackson Irvine goes into the book, and he misses the next game. Should Australia win? How do you see this foul?
It was a silly, pointless, unnecessary challenge, if I'm being honest. Doesn't need to do that. And the ball is in the Argentinian half of the field. He doesn't need to make that challenge. It's rash, it's reckless. And that's a pity for him, because if Australia go through, it'll be the first time, of course, that they'll have got that far in the World Cup, and he won't be able to participate.
Certainly will be, and now the ball is back with Molina, but he's managed to pass to Fernandez, and Fernandez now passing again to Lionel Messi. Is Messi going to try and make a break for it? He passes downwing to De Paul. De Paul has to try and somehow get around the Australian defence, but he can only pass back to Fernandez, and Fernandez does a long range across to, I should say, to Gomez, but he's being hounded by the likes of Sutar and Behic. Now the ball has been passed back down to Rodrigo De Paul. Now again it's with Gomez, but well held by Australia that time. Now it's with De Paul again. De Paul passing the ball up the wing to Fernandez. Now he has found. I think that was Gomez. Now it's back with Acuna, and Acuna passing back down the wing again to Alejandro De Paul, although he has to watch out for the likes of Irvine and I think I saw Dejanek, and now the ball is once again with it's still with Argentina, I should say, as it's Romero to Fernandez. Fernandez passing it to Alvarez, and Alvarez goes down the wing to Nao Molina. Now it's back with De Paul. De Paul passes up the wing to Lionel Messi. And Messi looking for Gomez. He's found him. Gomez with the ball. Can he break through? And he can't. He was too far. He was too far back. And I think it might have been the deflection by Dejanek that sent it over, or was it a well-timed block by Bacchus? But I say, Paul, he shot from too far back.
Agreed. He got his foot underneath it as well. It was obviously going way over. But that's really all Argentina, despite the possession, have managed to do so far, is to get these sort of longer range shots on goal. Matt Ryan has not been forced into any saves as of yet.
So we're just over 17 minutes in now. It's Argentina 0, Australia 0, and nice use of the head, but I think that was Sutar, but it's been given away. I mean, conceded again to Argentina as Christian Romero now has now has control of the ball. Needs to he can only pass to Otamendi. Now it's back with Acuna. Acuna passes back to Otamendi. Otamendi does well to hold off the attacking Australia player. Although Romero had to make a split decision to avoid the ball being stolen by Mitch Duke, and now the ball is with I think that was Julia Noel Molina, and now the ball has been intercepted by I think that was Riley McGree. Now it's been passed again to Jackson Irvine, and Irvine now finds Mitch Duke. I think it is with Mitch Duke, and a credit to Duke, he did really well to keep the ball from going over the line, but De Paul's momentum was just too great for him. Or no, it was Behich. It was Behich, but all the same, but all the same, credit must go to him.
Yeah, it was Australia's best move of the match so far. They got inside there. It was good defending to shield him away from getting past him, because once he's got past him, he's got options available in the box, and he could, of course, have the shot himself. So it was Australia's best move of the match. That'll give them a little bit of confidence.
Certainly will do. And Lionel Messi now looking to try and dampen Australia's spirits right now, but this is still with Fernandez back towards Messi, and Messi now passing again to, I think that was off Gomez. It's still Messi with the ball. He passes to, and now the ball's been passed to Rodrigo De Paul. Was aiming for Messi, but intercepted by Dejanek. And now the ball's been passed back to Matt Ryan in goal, and Ryan Ryan clears the ball further forward, and that came off the head of Riley McGree. It's McGree now with the ball, and tackled by Jackson Irvine, but given back to Argentina. Yes, Argentina may be dominating the game possession wise, but it's difficult. But it's difficult to say it's difficult to say right now who will be the first to score. Fernandez still has the ball for Argentina, although the ball has now been passed around. Was passed around to Romero and almost tackled by Irvine, I think it was. But Argentina doing really well to hold their ground. The ball is now with Rodrigo De Paul, and that was almost taken by Duke, I think it was. Now the ball has been passed around again to McAllister, and McAllister under pressure from Sutar, but he does really well to keep the ball. Although Australia have taken it back, ball recovery time of 41 seconds, a pretty large one compared to Argentina's small recovery time of just 12. But that matters very little. But that matters very little to the Socceroos. And they need to start pressing forward. It's Aaron Moy with the ball, crossing forward to look like Harry Sutar, a regular at Stoke City in the Championship, a former Scotland international. Keanu Bacchus now passing back to Moy. Moy now passing back towards Ryan, and now it's still Australia in possession. Bacchus, or Behich, I should say, to Rowles, I think. Now it's Rowles passing to Ryan, and Ryan now crossing the ball forwards to Aziz Behich, although he has to watch out for Rodrigo De Paul. Good tactical use by Australia to keep the ball to keep the ball themselves for as long as possible. That way they can try and force Argentina into making a mistake. It's Irvine now passing it to I think that was Behich. Now it's gone back towards Rowles and Moy. So just after 22 minutes, it's still Argentina 0, Australia 0. And you're listening to the Commentary Hub with myself, Nicholas Jones, and Paul James. We're also live on the Commentary Hub too, Storm FM, JB Sports, and you can also hear us on our Twitch channel. Rowles to Aaron Moy, and Aaron Moy now looking to make a break for it. It's now passing to Bacchus, and Bacchus has now found. I couldn't see who it was. It's now gone back with Moy. Moy towards Bacchus. Now back again to Moy. Australia looked like they were trying to make a break for it, but well helped by Argentina, and it's Moy to Irvine, and Australia now have the ball inside the 18-yard box, but again deflected away by Argentina. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Good use of the tactics by Australia, and it's given them a corner. Do you think it'll pay off for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, that remains to be seen, but that is much better from Australia. Kept possession for a very long time there, and also patiently built it up and managed to create an opportunity and get a corner here. So let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Aaron Moy to take the corner for Australia. He lines himself up, raises his arms, kicks the ball in towards the 18-yard box, but cleared away by Otamendi. Now it goes back to Jackson Irvine, or indeed Aaron Moy. It's actually Aaron Moy. Australia aren't out of this yet, but it goes over the line. Australia had the intention, but Nicolas Otamendi did well to save it for Argentina.
Yeah, the final ball in there was poor, but it's good work by Australia. I'd like to see a little bit more of this from Australia. Try to keep the ball and create the opportunities, because that passage of play was well worked by Australia.
Yes, indeed it was, and a throw-in has been given to the Socceroos, and the ball, and they still managed to keep hold of the ball through Aaron Moy. It's now with Rolls to Beach by the looks of it, but it's now been passed around again to Ryan, who's in goal. He's now passed back out to Rolls, and it's now with Dejanek, and Dejanek passing again back to Ryan in goal. Good use again. That is good tactical use by Australia. It's Rolls who takes the ball from Dejanek, and he passes now to I think that might have been Sutar. Yes, indeed, it might well have been Sutar. Sutar now passing to I think that was Behich back towards Aaron Moy. So Aaron Moy now passing the ball around to I think that might have been Dejanek. Now back to Moy. So Moy now with the ball back towards Irvine, and now Moy still has the ball, but Argentina look like they're trying to break this cycle, and I think that looks to me as though Messi wants to get in on the act, and almost nicked by Alvarez, but good use of the ball by Australia. They did not want Argentina to have any of it.
No, that's true, and I think you can expect Argentina to press, but Australia, they'll gain more and more confidence the longer they have possession of the football, and in doing so, they'll also disable any potential danger from Argentina.
Yes, that could well be the case. The longer they keep the ball, the longer they'll keep Argentina at bay, and that's just what they're doing. As it's now with Irvine, and Irvine now passing to a Behich. Behich tries to break through, but tackled by Argentina. But it goes back to Australia, and Ryan. And Ryan now passing to Riles. Now the ball is with Aaron Moy, passing this time to, I think that was Riley McGree. And now a cross forward by Riley McGree to Aziz Behich. And Behich was looking for Duke, but the Argentina defenders quickly sorted that one. Backed out by Rodrigo de Paul. Australia, I feel, are starting to put Argentina under some pressure.
Agreed. Yeah, they've definitely started to push forward, try to create one or two openings. It'll be slow going for Australia today, but they're going about their work, in my opinion, in the right way.
They certainly are, and it looks like it's given a throw in to Argent, and it's actually a throw into Australia. I thought it was going to go through Argentina, but it's Beach to take the throw for Australia. He's looking for someone to throw to. He throws to Irvine. Irvine has to hold off Molina. He fails to do so, and it's clear and it's cleared out of play. So we're just coming up to 28 minutes. It's still Argentina 0, Australia 0, and it's the second corner to Australia. They've got to convert this one this time. It's McGree with the corner and almost headed in by almost sent in by one of the forwards, but once again, good defensive work by Argentina. Just I think I was right earlier. Australia are starting to make Argentina work for it, and it's showing through Matthew Leckie, but almost tackled by Acuna, and Leckie pushing Marcos Acuna down. I was just going to compliment Leckie, but he only goes and commits a foul. Me and my big mouth.
Oh, Nick, I really like working with you, my friend. I really do. But you're absolutely right. It was kind of a silly challenge. But I also want to say that Australia are really starting to grow into the game now.
Yes, they certainly are, but it's currently Otamendi with the ball for Argentina, and now it's been played through to, I think that was Fernandez, but tackled by Australia with Dejanek, and it's now with Ryan. He now crosses the ball out to Dejanek, and Dejanek tries to play it through, but intercepted very well by McAllister. It's given back to Australia. It's still with Argentina. Now it's with Lionel Messi for Argentina. He tries to get around Moy, but good use of the feet by Moy, and Australia intercept, but it's been given back to Argentina. Irvine is all over Otamendi by the looks of it, and he passes to Fernandez. It's Fernandez to Christian Romero, and Romero crossing forward to Gomez, and Gomez under a bit of a scuffle with Beach, but it's been passed to Messi, and it's given back to Australia, and it'll be a throw-in to Argentina. Half an hour has been played. It's Argentina 0, Australia 0, and you're listening to the Commentary Hub with Nicholas Jones and Paul James. So Argentina currently still in play. The ball is with Fernandez. A pass down to Rodrigo de Paul. Now it's with Lionel Messi, but Messi does well to keep the ball out of danger for Australia. But it's been given back to Australia this time. Is it going to be sent to Mitch Duke? And in fact, it looks like it was with Duke for the moment. And a clumsy attempt by Riley McGree on Marcos Acuna, or was it actually the other way around? I'm inclined to think it was the latter, and it's given Australia a free kick. That really was unnecessary of Acuna to make a challenge like that.
Yeah, it's not the first unnecessary challenge we've seen today, though, Nick, as well, either, is it? It's there's been a couple of challenges that are coming in now that I think both teams need to be careful of. I mean, Australia have now already lost Irving for the quarterfinal if they get through, but they have 4 other players on yellow cards too. And Argentina have a couple on yellow cards. So it's worth the teams just calming down a little bit and not making any rash challenges.
Sutar to take the free kick. It's actually Moy to take the free kick for Australia, but he's a long way back in my view. Yes, it could pay off. Almost headed towards Irvine, but nobody was anywhere near it. So the free kick should have been a bit closer in my view.
Yeah, high line by Argentina there, as you pointed out, is highly risky. You can get caught out that way, but the ball was not the best, and it's a throw into Argentina.
Molina throws to Rodrigo de Paul. Now the ball has been passed down to Alvarez, but Australia still looking to take it back. And now once again it's with Acuna. Acuna passes to Fernandez, and Fernandez looks for a gap. He passes to Alvarez, who passes to Gomez. It was actually Molina to Gomez. I think Gomez was waving his arm to see that he got it, and across by Fernandez up the wing to Marcos Acuna. And Acuna now passes the ball to McAllister. McAllister tried to get it through, but was intercepted by Australia. And Argentina still trying to take the ball off Australia. Good ball control by Keanu Bacchus, but it's been given back to Australia. And now it's with Molina, but he's given it away to Australia. And the ball is now sent out of play by Bacchus. He tries to get into a fight with Messi, but the linesman calmly separating them.
Smart move by the linesman. Again, both these teams are obviously up for it. It's a vital game for both teams, of course, but this kind of behaviour doesn't help either side at all, really.
It certainly doesn't, and Gomez it certainly doesn't help. And Gomez, I think, has been fouled, and yet again a bit of a row with Behic. I think the referee's now coming over to talk to him personally, and to tell him what's what. Behic, he's been getting involved in one too many scrapes so far throughout this game, and I haven't been surprised. And I haven't been surprised he hasn't. And I haven't been surprised he hasn't been booked. It's like and I'm surprised he hasn't been booked. So it's given a free kick to Argentina in the 34th minute, and it will be Messi to take, and it will be Messi to take the free kick. And it's at a wide angle, so this could be the chance for Argentina that they need, but it's not. But again, defended by Australia. It's still Lionel Messi. He passes to I think that was Gomez, but Argentina. It doesn't matter. Argentina have taken the lead through Lionel Messi, and that could well unsettle unsettle Australia nerves, but Lionel Messi, that's kind of what you'd expect from him. Just call as you like, and in it went.
He's so efficient. He's on in his sort of older years now, if you will, but he only runs when he needs to run. He's so efficient on the ball. And he's so dangerous from those positions. And it was a smart finish, just tucked away to the goalkeeper's right-hand side. And at 35, this man is still absolutely world-class. And although he has said that this is his last World Cup, he probably could go on to another one if he really, really wanted to.
Yes, and a good through use of the ball, calm as you like, no way, and. But in fairness, Harry Souttar did his best to try and deflect it away, but it just wasn't to be.
No, it's a heck of a blow for Australia, Nick. They just started to get back in. They just started to get themselves into the game. They were looking confident going forward. This for them will be considered a really huge sucker punch.
They really need to get their act together now. Do Australia, and it's Rouse to Moy. Now it's gone back towards Moy. Straight now to Matt Ryan in goal. Messi looked like he was going to try and make another, but Ryan was like, "No way, sunshine! I'm not going to let you do that again." And he was able to clear it out of goal. But Argentina still trying to make use of the ball. And talking of Argentina, a player has gone down, and I think that was McAllister from earlier on. Yes, it was McAllister. He was yes, indeed, it was McAllister. He was brought down earlier on, and it was by Keanu Bacchus, I think it was. But Argentina have really got to watch it here, because with so many players having lack of time for rest, if a player gets roughed up too much, then that could have severe consequences for them if they go into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's true. I think Australia as well just need to watch the discipline a little bit here. They don't want to be picking up any more suspensions or yellow cards. I think
Well,
there's
talk
just
of the devil. Someone has gone into the book. It's Milos Dejanek, who already is on a yellow card, and he will be suspended from the next game should Australia go through. And you're right, that is yet another big blow to him. I mean, them.
a stupid challenge. Was there any need for that? I mean, he goes up there with his arm. It actually didn't look too bad on the replay, but you can't go in with your hands, or you do risk falling foul of the officials when you do that. But that's another suspension, another yellow card. They've got to wise up here, Australia, a little bit with the discipline.
Ball cleared out of play by Martinez, and I was actually going to mention just as throw has been given and Dejanek goes down on the ground. I think Acuna might have given him a taste of his own medicine, but the disciplinary record in football kind of reminds me of the warning and detention system you had when you were at school. You had, I think in my day you had about 2 warnings. Then you were on detention. So it's kind of like that.
A little bit, yeah. It was like that for me at school as well. I think we got, depending on the severity of your crime, you might get a detention right away. I went through school without one single detention. I'm very proud of that.
So well done to you, Paul. 39 minutes in, it's Argentina 1, Australia 0, and Australia now looking to regain back control of the ball. And like Paul says, they need to temper their enthusiasm. And the ball has been taken by McAllister, and the cross by McAllister is given away to Matt Ryan. But Matt Ryan manages to pass the ball out to Dejanek, and it goes and it's gone over the line, which was I think deflected away by Argentina. So it's a throw in to Australia, and it looks like it will be Dejanek to throw the ball for Australia. But I think it was chested back to Australia, but given away to Argentina. Now it's with Alejandro Gomez, but now it's been passed around to Rodrigo de Paul, and with around 5 minutes left, on the clock, how long do you reckon the stoppage time will be?
I would hope not more than about 4 minutes. The stoppages for the yellow cards and the goal celebration has been minimal. I would say 4 minutes would be appropriate.
Alvarez to Fernandez. Now back to Rodrigo de Paul, across at the wing by Rodrigo de Paul to Fernandez, and Fernandez now passes down to Nicolas Otamendi, and Otamendi now passing to Rodrigo de Paul. But Rodrigo de Paul crosses forward to, I think that might have been Molina. Yes, indeed, it was Molina. Now Molina passing to de Paul. Now it's back with Fernandez. And Fernandez passes up the wing to Acuna, but Acuna now passing down to McAllister. McAllister now to Romero. Now it's gone back to Rodrigo de Paul. Rodrigo de Paul to Lionel Messi. And Messi, who scored earlier on, needs to obviously come from this angle, so he had to pass to somebody else. Now it's with McAllister. McAllister back towards Lionel Messi. Messi just outside the 18-yard box, but unfortunate for him to run into that brace of Australian defenders, and that does not look good. He's clutching what looks to be around his ankle. McAllister tries to give his give his view to the referee, and for Lionel Messi, that is not what he wants. I think he just came off Jackson Irvine. Would you a surprise, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was Harry Sutar. But Lionel Messi, he really has to. But for Lionel Messi, he's really got to dust himself down from this.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be okay by the looks of it, but it was Suter, I think, that got the final boot in, and it looked like he caught him just at the bottom of the ankle, Nick. I got to say that's got to be painful. I wouldn't want to feel that.
No, you certainly wouldn't, and the ball is still with Argentina through Molina. Molina passing it to Alejandro Gomez, and it's Gomez now back to Otamendi. Now it's almost taken by Australia. In fact, it has been, and the ball is now with I think that was Raul, but it's now been passed back to Matt Ryan. Now it's with Harry Souttar back towards Ryan, although Alvarez was looking for the ball, and the ball has now been passed again to Raul, headed by Irvine to I think that might have been Duke. Now the ball has been passed down to Behich to Aaron Moy, and Moy crossing the ball forward to Dejanek. Acuna tries to tackle the ball, but the ball is deflected away by Australia. Argentina regain control. It's with Acuna passing the ball around, and he's now managed to find it to pass it to Fernandez, I should say. Now the ball's passed down the wing to Nahuel Molina, and it's Molina to Gomez, and Gomez now passes the ball up front to I think that's Rodrigo de Paul. De Paul now passing this time to Otamendi to Fernandez, and it's Fernandez now passing again to Alejandro Gomez. It's Gomez passing again to Messi. Now back towards Gomez. Now the ball's been passed around to Rodrigo de Paul and Fernandez. It's Fernandez still with the ball as we enter the penultimate minute of the first half. It's Rodrigo de Paul now to Gomez. Now back to Otamendi. It's Romero, I should say, and Romero passes back to Martinez. Martinez in goal. Martinez clears the ball forward. He was aiming for Nahuel Molina, and you have to say that throughout this tournament, Nahuel Molina has been instrumental in setting up goal opportunities. But so far, we haven't seen anything significant from him.
Well, that's credit to Australia's defending for this first half. Has been very, very solid. And apart from the one chance, unfortunately, that's all Lionel Messi needs. But apart from that one chance, Australia have defended very, very well.
They certainly have, and we now enter the 45th minute. And just a moment ago, that was an open goal, which Argentina should have taken advantage of, but Australia were able to defend that one. But Australia were able to defend their lines, and it's 2 minutes have been added. 2 minutes have been added onto the clock as Ryan passes the ball out to Raul, and Raul to Irvine. Now back towards Raul, and Raul again passes to Irvine. Now back towards Raul, and Raul has collided with Rodrigo de Paul, and Raul has to, and Kai Raul. He's not on a yellow card at the moment, but if he carries on like that, he very may well be. So the ball is now with Dejanek passing the ball this time to Souttar. Now back to Matt Ryan, and Ryan gets ready to clear the ball out towards Moy. Now back to now again the ball is with Harry Souttar, almost pushed away by Alvarez, but he does well to pass down the wing to cross down the wing, I should say, to Behich. Now back towards Aaron Moy. Australia appears to have calmed down a bit somewhat, but that's not affecting their focus and concentration. And it looked like Behich was about to set up. It looked like Behich was on the prowl, as it were. But just unfortunate for the ball. But just unfortunate for the ball to go over the line. It's been passed to Martinez in goal. Argentina still have control of this, and it looks like Duke was about to take it off. But it's still with Argentina. No, it isn't now. It's now with Australia. That was a good interception by Bacchus, I think it was. But it's now Moy for the Socceroos. Australia look like they were going to try and level with that one, but it's too little, too late now, and that's half time at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium been a very entertaining first half. Both sides looked evenly matched. It was just an unfortunate slip up by Australia that gave Argentina the lead. Halftime score is Argentina 1, Australia 0, and Paul, Australia have really put their hearts into it.
Well, they have, and the time they conceded, they were having their best moments of the match. It was most unfortunate because neither side really forced the opposition goalkeeper into any work. There was definitely lots of huffing and puffing and trying to get the ball and break each other down, but both sides seem to have held firm. Unfortunately, when you're looking at Lionel Messi, you're looking at a man that often just needs a half chance, and that's really what it was. It just came to him just inside the 6 yard box, and he was able to find the bottom right hand corner. But Australia, yeah, as you mentioned towards the end of the half, have calmed down just a wee bit now, and I think the coach will probably want to just get them to settle down and then to focus on the second half because they're by no means out of this game. The score is only 1-0.
Yes, it certainly is, and Australia. Australia had a couple of good chances with the likes of Behic and Lecky. I think I also cannot forget that free kick by Aaron Moy, which was just unlucky for Australia. Which was just unlucky for Australia not to take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this was unfortunate. He swings the ball in, but it's just a bit too far away. I think what Australia may look to do in the second half is maybe make a couple of changes. I'm not sure who they're going to bring on or off, but I think they want to press a little bit in the second half to see if they can put some pressure on this Argentinian defence, put some real pressure on them, see if they can get them to break. Because, I mean, Argentina, they're capable of conceding goals. We've seen it before. And teams, what you would consider to be lesser teams in the tournament have hurt them, Saudi Arabia. So they're definitely vulnerable to attack. So it'd be interesting to see if Australia can press a little bit in the second half and maybe work Martinez a little bit.
If memory serves me correctly, Australia were 1-0 up in their game against Saudi Arabia, and then Saudi Arabia came through to beat them. Could this be something similar for Australia this time?
It could be. Yeah, you were right. Argentina did take the lead, and then they went back and conceded the 2 goals in the second half. But it's a possibility, and that's why I feel if Australia press in the second half, just to see if they can perhaps hurt Argentina a little bit. Put pressure on that defense, make the goalkeeper work, and just see whether they can get themselves back into this game. Because at 1-0, the game is never over until the final whistle, of course. Then it's over.
Good use of analogy, Paul. We're going to take a short break for the time being, but join us again just before the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of Argentina against Australia. And before we go into it for the start of the second half, we've got a big game coming up tomorrow. England taking on Senegal in their first round of 16 match. Paul, how do you think it's going to be played out?
Well, I suspect England should get the victory there. Senegal still have a pretty good team, but I suspect England will get the victory there. I might go, well, England have blown a little hot and cold in the group stages, but I think England will win 2-1.
They certainly were on hot form when they managed to get through past Wales, but this is a completely but Senegal are completely different, and so yes, you were saying.
No, I'm sorry. I was agreeing with you. I was just saying, yeah.
Yeah. So Senegal. Who do you think England have got to look out for in terms of Senegal?
Well, without Mane, without Sadio Mane, this Sarr, he's definitely the one to look out for. I don't see him staying at Watford when the transfer window reopens. I think a Premier League club will come in and snap him up. But I think he's definitely a danger that England will need to keep an eye on.
Yes, I'm certainly hoping that included in the lineup is midfielder Mamadou Loum, who is a regular at Reading. So he might help out in defence, or sort of trying to keep up through midfield. Also, do not discount the vice captain. Idrissa Gueye of Everton. Now we can get back into the second half as Argentina and Australia make their way back out onto the pitch. Lionel Messi straightening his armband, and just to make sure that it stays securely on, and the players and the match officials now making their way back up onto the pitch, and judging by the colour on some of the players' faces, they've certainly been huffing and puffing, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's been hard work for Argentina. This game has not been easy. Australia the same. I've been very. I found the battle between the two sides extremely absorbing so far.
Second half, just mere moments away. This will be Argentina to kick us off, and it looks like it will be Lionel Messi to stand over the ball and kick us away, which he does, and so we are back underway for Argentina against Australia, and Argentina. Looking like they're starting up, and Argentina looking like they're starting where they left off. The ball is with Romero, who passes to Martinez, but Australia aren't giving this one up either. And good use of the body, by one of the attacking players to deflect the ball away. I think that might have been Duke. But it's given a throw in to us. It's given a throw into Argentina, and that will be taken by Acuña. So Acuña throws to Alvarez, but intercepted by Moy. So no halftime substitutions have been made in either camp. But for Argentina, I would not be surprised if they bring on the likes of Angel Di Maria and either Lisandro or Lautaro Martinez.
I can see that happening, and I can see it happening sooner rather than later, to be honest with you, because he's going to want to keep the legs fresh. So I suspect I do see potential changes, possibly using all 5 of their substitutions.
Okay, that was a quick foul on Rodrigo de Paul, but it was all sorted out in a flash, and the play can now resume. It's still Rodrigo de Paul, but he manages to pass to Romero, but it's been passed out to Martinez, and that was almost a collision by Mitch Duke. Both players managed to stay upright. That is possibly one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, he nearly got there, Duke, didn't he? Put Martinez under pressure there. When that happens, those they can bounce any way. Martinez has to be more careful.
Moy to I think that was Jackson Irvine, but it was intercepted by Otamendi by Romero, I should say, for Argentina. Now the ball is with Naho Molina. Australia look like they're starting to pick up speed, and it's Lionel Messi passing the ball up front to I think that was Gomez. Now back towards Messi. Messi now passes the ball around again to Gomez. It's Gomez still with the ball. He's now powering his way through, but he can only give it back. But it deflects off Australia, and it can only go back towards Messi. Now the ball is with Marcos and Cunha now passing to Otamendi. And now the ball is found Alexis McAllister back towards Otamendi, and Australia still doing really well defensively.
Yeah, they're very difficult to break down. They've not made it easy for Argentina at all, and they still haven't really worked Matt Ryan apart from the goal. We're now almost on 50 minutes of football.
It's still with the ball is now with Alejandro Gomez, and it was almost tackled by Riley McGree, but it's over the line for an Australian throw, and Australia needs to make the throwing count. But just as I say that, Alejandro Gomez comes off the pitch, and onto the pitch will come Lisandro Martinez. Alejandro Gomez. He's had his moments, but I'm sure he'll be disappointed overall over how he performed.
Well, it's been difficult for the front three for Argentina. Australia have made it difficult for them. I think it's right that they should start making substitutions this early, given the level of games that they've already played so far and the time that they have had in between those games, which as we discussed earlier, isn't very much. So I do expect Argentina to use their full array of substitutions today.
Ball is now in the 18-yard box. It's just simply forward by Messi, but saved by Matt Ryan. You talked about not having to work Matt Ryan much, but Argentina certainly made him work now. But he was certainly on the alert.
Yeah, it took a wee deflection. Sometimes they can be taken away from a goalkeeper, but Matt Ryan followed that very well and was able to gather it in his arms. Sometimes they can end up on the other side of the goal, those, Nick. So Matt Ryan can consider himself fortunate, but good work by him, watching that deflection, gathering it well.
Just over 50 and a half minutes in, it's still Argentina 1, Australia 0. It's Aaron Moy with the ball now for Australia. He's passed to that looks to be Aziz Bahich. Now it's being passed down to Kai Rowles, back towards Moy. Moy now passing to Irvine, back towards Rowles, but it was actually Irvine, and Australia were just outside the 18-yard box, but it had to be conceded and passed back towards Moy. Now it's with Kai Rowles, and Kai Rowles now passing to Dejanek down the wing, but it's been conceded again to Argentina, and that was a bit of a rough challenge by Keanu Brackus, and that's given away a free kick to Argentina. But I personally don't think Brackus did anything wrong. It was just a normal challenge.
Yeah, there wasn't much in that, was there? Really, it was. It just looked like he'd gone for the ball. I think the referee just might have jumped the gun a little bit there.
He might well have done. And the ball is still with Acuna. Acuna lobs it forward to McAllister. Now back towards Acuna, but easily dealt with by Dejanek and passing to Ryan. But Australia retook the ball back. That was good footwork by McAllister. But it's now given away to Australia, and it almost still remains with the Socceroos, but Argentina were able to take it back, and it's now back with McAllister. McAllister to Acuna. Acuna now passing to Otamendi, and Otamendi now passing again, this time to Christian Romero. Romero now passing back to and that was almost an opportunity for Australia. A real lapse in concentration for Damian Martez. Nicolas Otamendi did try to pass it to the goalkeeper, did try to pass it to Martinez, but Leckie, I think it was, almost took advantage and put the ball in.
Yeah, I felt the back pass was a bit short by Otamendi, just a wee bit. But Martinez was out there to clear it away. Argentina get away with one there.
And it was actually Mitch Duke. It was Mitch Duke who tried, but it was Mitch Duke who tried to get to it, and his foot was nowhere near the ball. But Martinez lucky to get away with that, and the ball now passed out of goal by Martinez to Romero. And Romero has to defend rapidly from Riley McGree, but still good defensive work by Argentina, and the ball will now be cleared out of play. I mean, out of the goal area, I should say, by Damian Martinez. So Martinez backs away. He lines himself up to kick the ball, which he does, and it goes forward to Alvarez, and it's Alvarez, but tackled by Aaron Moy, and the referee has called a halt to proceedings. Lionel Scaloni being very animated on the touchline, and the ball was almost taken by Alvarez. That was good ball control by Irvine to pass to Ryan, but Argentina have subsequently taken the ball back, and it's now with McAllister. McAllister passing down wing to Acuna, and now Acuna has passed back to McAllister. McAllister trying to get round Australia, but he can only do a forward pass to Otamendi. Otamendi now passes to Nicolas Romero, and Romero now passing forward to Rodrigo de Paul, but he passes this time to Noel Molina. And after 55 minutes, it still remains Argentina 1, Australia 0, as Otamendi once again tries the schoolboy way of defending, but easily saved by Damian Martinez. And the ball is now gone out of play for a throw, and it will be a throw in to Argentina, and the ball will be taken by Nahuel Molina. Molina throws, and the ball's caught still with Argentina. The ball has now been passed down to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez now passes to I think that might be Fernandez. Yes, indeed, it is Fernandez, and Fernandez has now passed this time to Fernandez. Now that's still with Fernandez, so he's passed this time to Alvarez. Alvarez has passed to Messi. Was aiming this time for I think that might have been Fernandez, but well defended by Australia. And Argentina looking to try and make another break for it. And Australia once again rely on Matt Ryan. So good cooperation between him and the defenders. But as I say that, there is an open space, and Argentina take advantage. And it's the second goal for the two-time world champions, and it's scored this time by Julian Alvarez. We'll confirm in a moment or two. But Paul, that was a silly giveaway by Australia. They didn't need to do that, and now they have been punished.
Seriously cost them, that did. It was Julian Alvarez, Nick. He just seemed to nip in front of Matt Ryan there, who was dilly-dallying with the ball in his own penalty area, and he had the ball nicked from him and just put into an empty net. Just look at this. It starts off with him throwing the ball out, which is all fine, and they go right back to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan takes one touch, beats one Argentinian player, but his first touch is not great. And his second touch then allows, I do wonder whether they'll review it, because it looked like Matt Ryan might have been impeded as well by the Argentinian number 7, which is DePaul. But I don't know whether that'll be enough to turn turn that around. But careless play at the back, very, very careless.
Hrustic and Goodwin come on as Australia as substitutes for Australia, but Australia really need to refocus now, because Argentina look like they could well be going for a third. It's McAllister to Alvarez, but tackled by Raul's Argentina was still looking to try and go for it, but I think one of them got into a bit of a scrape with Milos Dejanek, and I think that's another Argentina substitute. Looking to warm himself up and go forward, but thrown swiftly taken by, I think that was Argentina, and Australia have now stolen it back from them. But once again, it's caught by Argentina. Australia, who progressed through the World Cup qualifying rounds the hard way, could well be on the way out if they still keep playing as they are.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's a massive mountain to climb now, and half an hour to do it. That second goal, I think, might be the backbreaker, Nick.
If this were a marathon race across Australia, then if this were a marathon race coast to coast across Australia, then Argentina would be halfway on the road to Perth, whereas Australia could well be some 50 kilometers outside Sydney. But that was so we're just taking a look on my monitor of the second goal by Argentina, and Argentina now back with the ball. The ball has now been passed around, this time to Lisandro Martinez, and Martinez now crossing forward to Alvarez, but intercepted by Rolls. It's passed back towards Ryan, now passing back out to Rolls, but the ball's now passed back out to Dejanek, but once again tackled by Australia. Tackled by Argentina, and it goes out of play. And if I said anything to cause offence to anyone, then I apologise profusely. I won't do anything like that again. And the ball is now with Aziza Behich to back to Matt Ryan. Now it's been passed at this time to Dejanek. Now the ball has been passed this time to Ajdin Hrustic, and Hrustic now crossing forward to looks like Behic now towards Moy, and Moy now passing back down to Irvine, who now passes up the wing to Moy, and Moy now looking for I think that was Craig Goodwin, but Goodwin now but Goodwin now fouled by someone from Argentina. I think that might have been Christian Romero. The referee comes over to have a look. We'll let you know who it was that fouled in just a moment, and it was indeed Christian Romero. Did he look like he was anywhere near the ball?
Well, let's take a look at it again. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so we talk about simulation quite a bit. That was one of the worst by Goodwin. There may have been contact made, but slight contact made. Let's put it that way. But that was one of the worst acts of simulation I have ever seen, and I'd like to see the referee get the book out in that situation.
Get the book out, possibly throw the book at him if it was indeed simulation, and it's going to be Moy to take the free kick for Australia. No, in fact, he does a dummy, and Australia take the free kick, but it's just kept inside. It's just kept inside the 18-yard box, and that. And much like the other free kick in the first half, that was a poor one, and it's been kicked forward again, and it enters the 18-yard box. But once again, Argentina. But once again, Argentina do well to intercept, and now it's with Rodrigo De Paul, and De Paul now passing to I think that was Molina, and Molina again again passing to Lionel Messi, who has to hold off Kai Rowles. He does so, and the ball has now been crossed forward again. This time to I think that might have been Acuna. Australia have had one attempt at goal, but none on target. Argentina 4-3 with the attempts at goal on target. De Paul now to Alvarez. Now the ball has been passed down. This time to McAllister. McAllister with the ball, and now the ball has been picked up by Lionel Messi. Now the ball's been passed. Around to Lisandro Martinez. Now it's with Nicolas Otamendi, and now the ball's been passed around, this time to Rodrigo De Paul, and Rodrigo De Paul now to Fernandez, but it was intercepted by Australia, and once again taken by Argentina. Argentina still managing to hold on to the ball, courtesy of Lionel Messi. 64 minutes in, it's Argentina 2, Australia 0, and it looks as though it could be 3. Messi tries to look for a gap, but deflected out, and he can afford himself a wry smile, knowing that he wasn't going to get through that time.
He truly is legendary. Look at the way he almost beats the entire Australian defence on his own. We are blessed to live in this generation, Nick. We are truly blessed. We have got the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi to watch, and we are very lucky. That's my opinion. That's my analysis.
Corner taken by Argentina, and I was also about to mention that the fans were are kind of sharing your sentiments. They were hero worshipping Messi when he made that move. But let's face it. To Argentinian folk, Messi is one truly almighty hero, as Molina now passes the ball around to I think that was Fernandez to Fernandez. Now the ball has gone back towards Messi, and once again it's been picked up by Marcos Acuna, and Acuna crossing forward, but it was missed that time. But it was picked up this again by I think that was McAllister. Now it's still with Argentina, and McAllister threw back towards Lionel Messi, and a shot, but it's over the crossbar, and even if it had been lower down, no way was it even going to reach the net. It was several yards wide.
But just going back to that cross from Acuna, That cross was swung in so well. If the forwards were anticipating that cross, it was swung right into that corridor of uncertainty. If the forwards would have just pressed towards the goal like you taught it as a kid, there would have been somebody on the end of that to make it 3-0.
There surely would have been, and that looked like Matthew Leckie went to, and that looked like Matthew Leckie went down onto the ground, but the referee easily dealt. But the referee easily dealt with that, and it's given a free kick to Australia. They need to be more precise with this free kick, and it'll be Jackson Irvine and it looks as though it'll be Jackson Irvine that will take the free kick. No, in fact, it won't. It will be no, in fact, it won't. And I think it'll be Craig Goodwin. That'll be the one to kick the ball. He does, but again, an easy save by Damian Martinez. That to me was a tame one.
Yeah, it was meat and drink for the goalkeeper, wasn't it? Just had to take a few steps forward and grab that. And of course, he's going to fall down on that just to take up a few more seconds. But I think Australia haven't quite had the same impetus since the second goal went in. I think that really has knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit. They
certainly appear to be losing their concentration slightly, but it's not for lack of trying. As Leckie Leckie sent the ball out for a throw-in, which was taken by Argentina, and so it's Argentina now back, and so now it's Argentina back in play with McAllister now passing back down to I think that was Marcos Acuna. Now it's with Lionel Messi back towards Lisandro Martinez. Now it's with Otamendi. Now the ball has been passed again to Messi, back to Otamendi. And Otamendi now passes down wing to Lisandro Martinez, back towards Messi. Now taken again by Alexis McAllister. McAllister passing back to Otamendi. Now the ball is once again with Christian Romero, back towards Otamendi. Now the ball has once again been found by I think that was Lisandro Martinez, but it was crossed forward to Acuna, and Acuna did really well to hold off. That Australian player, but he got into a bit of a scrape with Dejanek, didn't he? And he had his hands on the back of his head. So goodness knows what he was thinking about.
Well, I mean, that was a little bit harsh. I think the defender for Australia there just went down a little bit too easily. But of course, whenever you put your hands on somebody, you're running the risk of being called up for that.
Australia trying to make another attack at it, but once again it's seen to by Argentina. Just over 69 and a half minutes in, I should say. It's still Argentina 2, Australia 0. And the ball has the ball was deflected away, and the ball has once again been deflected away. I think that might have been by one of the Argentina forwards. So Tim Cahill, one of the players of Australia's golden generation, along with the likes of Harry Kewell and others. So it'll be a throw in to Argentina, and it looks as though it'll be Julian Alvarez to take the throw, which he does, and it's intercepted by Irvine. Irvine tries to take the ball for Australia, but well tackled by Christian Romero. And I can actually just see at the bottom of my monitor that we have another couple of substitutes looking to come on for Argentina. That to me it looks like Nicolas Tagliafico and Lautaro Martinez. So off comes Julian Alvarez, who scored the second goal, and on comes Lautaro Martinez, and also Acuna comes off to make way for what looks like Tagliafico. So Tagliafico So Tagliafico getting ready to come off. So Tagliafico looking ready to make his entrance onto the pitch. I think but you have to call into question the fourth official. I think he got the timing of the board slightly wrong, but they're on the pitch at last, and Australia are going to make another substitute at the same time. On comes Gurang Kuol. And also, I think I saw Joel King looking ready to come on as well. In fact, it's a triple substitution for Australia. And off comes Mitch Duke, and on will come this time Karacic and McLaren. So with less than 20 minutes to go, these are the players that Australia surely need right now.
Yes, absolutely. It's the changes that have been made now in the hope to get Australia back in the game. My thoughts on this are they've brought on the number 21, Cool. He may make a difference. It's only his third cap. He's only 18 years of age, so he's relatively unknown. And he, of course, plays for the Central Coast Mariners in the Australian League.
For those of you who are wondering what the Australian League, is, it's actually the A League. So there you go. Now you learned something new. As Australia now have the ball back through Aziz Behich. Behich passes to Moy, and Moy now crossing this time down wing, I should say, to Karacic, and Karacic has now found what looks to be Jamie McLaren. It's McLaren, but McLaren gives the ball away, and it was picked up again by Irvine. I think Irvine was trying to head it forward, but there appeared to be nobody there, and Damian Martinez thought, right, there doesn't seem to be anyone there. I'll just pounce on it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, looks like Graham Arnold has thrown his last throw of the dice. He's used all 5 of his substitutions. I think Argentina have 2 more if they wish to use them. I suspect they will before the end.
So Argentina currently holding all the aces in terms of the substitutes, as and Australia appear to have and Australia's gamble will likely not pay off. So we're just over 74 minutes in. It's Argentina 2, Australia 0, and you're listening to the Commentary Hub with me, Nicholas Jones, and Paul James as Kuol tried to take the ball, but it was a throw-in. But there was a throw-in to Moy. Now it was almost picked up again. This time by McAllister. Now the ball is with. This time it's Lautaro Martinez, and Martinez now straight to that was Nicolas Tagliafico, but Tagliafico was unable to press it forward.
Well, it was a defender's finish, that really, wasn't it? He got in. It was an awkward angle, but I think he's really got to work the goalkeeper from there.
And a nasty challenge by Irvine on Lautaro Martinez, and to me that's surely got to be the red card, but he doesn't get it.
No, that was a rather unpleasant challenge. That was. I could see that the studs were up there, and not great. And the referee didn't even issue a yellow card. So just a lack of consistency in my view there.
Very much so, and you have to call into question the refereeing standards of refereeing going on at the World Cup. And I've actually just saw another ball come onto the pitch when one was already there, but that did not need to happen. Just goes to show the questionable standards of refereeing so far at this tournament. And the ball is start with Aziz Behich. Behich looking to for and Australia have pulled one back, and not a moment too soon. It was by Craig Goodwin, and is this the incentive that Australia needs to bring them to turn things around?
Well, it certainly might be. They got the bit of luck they needed there. That took a wicked deflection, and it looks like it came off Enzo Fernandez. Let's just take a look at this again. Struck Fernandez almost in the back of the shoulder blade or somewhere along there, and it just took it away from Martinez. And you can see it right there. The goalkeeper didn't stand a chance at all with that. But this now might give Australia the momentum they need to see if they can push on and get an equaliser, Nick.
This game is not over yet. With 77 minutes in, it's Argentina 2, Australia 1. Argentina will possibly be looking at just one more goal to seal it. And the ball is now with I think that's Lautaro Martinez. Martinez now passing this time to Molina, but almost tackled by Goodwin. And I think the call and I think Graham Arnold's call to use those three substitutes was the right one.
Absolutely, it seems to have paid off. One of the substitutes got the goal, Goodwin. I don't know whether we'll get credit for that, because that kind of deflection, it may have been going off target, but we'll definitely see. But yeah, they're right back in the game. That's the most important thing. Australia
now need to build on their momentum from that goal by Goodwin, but Argentina are still equally determined. It's now Rodrigo de Paul to Lionel Messi. And Messi now passes down the wing to Tagliafico. Tagliafico's inside the 18-yard box. He passes back out to Messi. Now the ball is, I think, with somebody, but Messi. Now it's gone back towards Tagliafico, but almost tackled by Australia. And the man responsible was Fran Karacic. A rather unusual method of tackling the ball. But is it actually a check? But is it actually been checked for offside? Was Tagliafico just a fraction offside?
It looked like it to me, Nick. It looked like it, and it looks like it might have been given as well, because it's not gone for a corner, has it?
No, it certainly hasn't. And McAllister and Molina are being substituted for Gonzalo Montiel and Ezequiel Palacios. And I think it's a bit of a risk putting Montiel on, because he is one of the players, because he is the only Argentine player with a yellow card, and McAllister getting the congratulations from the rest of the team. But we're now just over 10 minutes left. And Australia need to pick up their momentum. The ball being crossed forward by Karacic to Kuol, and Kuol now has to pass back down to I think that was Dejanek. Dejanek now with the ball for Australia, or is it King? It's actually Joel King, and Joel King looks like he's going to try and go for it, but it's just over the crossbar. Unlucky for Australia not to level. But it was deflected away by Otamendi. But you have to really feel for Australia. It is not over yet. They have a corner, but their corners have always been on the poor side. They need to make this one count, and it doesn't this time, and yes, again, it's over the crossbar. So that's two chances going down. That's two chances blown away, and Paul, you actually have to feel for I think that for Behich, who almost tried to get through, and Graham Arnold, he can't believe it either.
No, it was a wonderful piece of skill. It probably would have been one of the goal of the tournament contenders had that gone in. I think it was blocked by Alessandro Martinez who got the goal-saving challenge in there. But what a wonderful piece of defending. It was great football all round. Very unfortunate for Australia there.
Ryan clearing the ball forward to that looked like Jamie McLaren, but Argentina quickly see to that one. It's Australia taking the ball back, but it was re-tackled by Argentina, and the referee now coming over to see what it is. I think Messi was involved. I think it might have been either Irvine or McLaren, or was it Suter? I think it might well have been Suter. But Australia have a free kick through Quall, and Quall now passing the ball around to Aaron Moy. It's Moy, and it looks like Moy crossing. Looked like it was Moy crossing the ball forward, but it was saved. But it was saved by Damian Martinez, and I think I think Ashton Hrustic was the closest player to it, but approaching the 82nd, but approaching around 82.5 minutes. It's still Argentina 2, Australia 1, and the ball now thrown out of goal, but it goes over. The ball now thrown over the Argentina goal, but it goes out of play, and it had to be passed to Matt Ryan. The ball is now with Behich, and Behich crossing to Quall, but it goes out of play. And I think he's collided with Christian Romero. Indeed, he has. But I don't think there was any malicious intent in doing that. He just went for the ball.
Yeah, I'd just like to have a look at it again. Yeah, there didn't appear to be a lot in it. The trouble is, as he's going down, he's sort of, it's not really his fault. He's trying to maintain, he's going down. You're not in control of your arms and your legs when that's happening. It's quite by accident. It's just a bit unfortunate. He might have caught him in the face.
And that goal by Messi, ball speed maximum 86 kilometers an hour, and in terms of a football, that's almost Formula One speed. That is, and for Lionel Messi, 789 career goals in 1,000 appearances. That just goes to show the legend status of the man. And with 6 minutes to go, Australia needs to start bucking up their ideas, and quick. Since that good win goal, and they haven't done so far. But this could well be a giveaway to Australia. But saved by Ryan, and the referee comes over to take a look at something which I think I saw on my monitor but didn't pick up. But it's a quick free kick to Australia. And Australia deal with that one well. It's now with Jamie McLaren. McLaren doing really well to hold off Palacios, but McLaren loses it to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez now passing up the field to what looked to be Lautaro Martinez, and Martinez goes down the pitch. No penalty, says the referee, and Moy now clears the ball forward to Tuol, and it's Tuol now passing this time to I think that was Lecky, but Lecky appears to have been fouled on Australia trying to go for the ball. That was through Marco. That was through Karacic, but we're not. But Suter giving a bit of a mighty shirt tug to Lautaro Martinez, and the Australian fans know that this could well be all over for them in a matter of minutes, as Tagliafico gets ready to take the throw in for Argentina, and Argentina still do well to hold on to the ball through Lionel Messi. I think Suter tries to get a bit touchy feely with him, or should I say argy bargy, but Argentina still managed to hold their ground. What must be going through Graham Arnold's mind, and the ball is now being passed around to Rodrigo de Paul, and it has now found I think that was Montiel, and it's still with Argentina through Rodrigo de Paul, and De Paul tried to hold on to the ball, but he conceded to Australia through Jamie McLaren, and Argentina was somehow able to take it back. It's now Lionel Messi passing to Tagliafico, and Tagliafico has to hold off the Australian defense. He passes back around to Fernandez. Now it's with Rodrigo de Paul, but cut away by Dejanek for Australia. It's almost taken by Tuol. Now it's taken back through Argentina. And the ball has now been passed around to Palacios. Now it's back with Lionel Messi, and Messi has now managed to find what looks to be Lautaro Martinez, but it doesn't. But it or should I say? But it's way wide, and the ball doesn't go. But it's way wide, and the ball doesn't go in. It did go through the legs of Harry Sutar, but Sutar did well to impede his progress.
Yeah, and you know what? It's game management by Argentina now, Nick. They're just keeping possession, trying to run the clock down, which I suppose is a credit really to the way Australia have played. They've managed to get themselves back into this game. They almost got an equaliser. So, all in all, I'm sure that Australia can be proud of their performance today, whatever the result might be.
2 minutes to go. It's still Argentina 2, Australia 1, and now it was with Lautaro Martinez, but it was with Lautaro Martinez, but it was over the crossbar, and to me it looked like there was just nothing he could do.
Well, he gets the ball in a position here. I'd expect him to hit the target from there. And he manages to balloon it over the crossbar. I mean, that's a clear shot on goal. That's a chance for me, is that one I would expect him to make Matt Ryan work at.
And balloon is certainly the word, as Australia now take the throw through Fran Karacic. We are now approaching the last 60 seconds of normal time, and Australia, as I talk to you, we're about to had the ball inside the 18-yard box, so it looked like there was a momentary opportunity for Australia to take it through, and a fight going on inside the 18-yard box. Harry Sutar might have gotten involved, but the referee calmly stepping in to halt proceedings, and that must have been what caused it. It was an incident on Jamie McLaren. I think McLaren sort of elbows sort of Martinez in retaliation. What's your verdict on this one?
Well, with Suter, the elbows are flying, and this is where he needs to be careful. You can't do that. If you've got flailing elbows up in the air like that, and you connect with someone, you're going to be looking at possibly a red card. I've seen them given, even accidental ones. I've seen them given. You have to control yourself a little bit.
We're now into the 90th minute, and 7 minutes have been added on. So Australia do have a small lifeline, and they need to make the best use of it. But Argentina managed to hold on, managed to control the ball through Lautaro Martinez, but it's been given back to Australia, and Lionel Messi now looking to take it off Behic, but nothing doing so far, and it's now been given back to Australia. And Kuol now looking to try and tackle Messi. How about that? But the ball was cut out at the last minute. But the ball was cut out at the last minute by Aaron Moy. So a throw in to be given to be given to Argentina, and surely you'd think, Paul, that that Argentina could well get a third goal in that time. Although the referee is now having a bit of a little chat, shall we say, to Rodrigo de Paul. But seriously, do you think Argentina could get a third in the remaining close to 5.5 minutes?
Well, they certainly could, but I think they'll be looking more at game management now just to get the game closed out. They don't want to risk conceding because you're looking then at extra time. And as we've already discussed earlier on, the fatigue part of this, with them not getting such as long rest. So I think they'll just want to close this game out, to be perfectly honest.
It looks like they certainly do, and Lionel Scaloni can only hope that Argentina can stick to the game management. Although it looks like Messi could be looking for a break. He passes straight to that was a ball straight to Lautaro Martinez, but deflected away by Ryan. Argentina now back outside the 18-yard box, and the ball's now passed to Enzo Fernandez, and Fernandez now trying to pass the ball around to a Montiel. Montiel now passes it back, but it's given away to Australia through King, and now it's back with Rodrigo de Paul. Rodrigo de Paul now passing to Lionel Messi. He has to go around Aaron Moy. He's done that, and he's now entered the 18-yard box. Although Moy's still lurking, and that was almost the third for Argentina. I think Messi dawdled in the 18-yard box a second too long. Had he just acted, that could well have been easily the third goal for Argentina and the match winner.
For sure. Gets the shot away there from the corner of the penalty. It's not a million miles away, Nick. And they've had a chance before that with Martinez forcing the save out of Matt Ryan. So it's they obviously are still wanting to. They're not just looking to kill the game off. They are looking for opportunities as well.
We should hope to have Paul's player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, within the next 3 and a bit minutes, as Argentina now have the ball back through Palacios, and it's still with Lionel Messi. Messi has now passed back down to Lautaro Martinez, saved again by Matt Ryan, and Messi appears to have gone down in the 18-yard box. We'll try and work out what's happened, but the initial deflection by Ryan, and in fact Messi appears to have gone down of his own accord, Paul.
He might be tired. It looks like he's just gone flat on his back there. Smart save by Matt Ryan with the legs. As they say here in Canada, a kick save and a beauty, a kick save and a beauty.
The ball's now back with Australia through Karacic, and so it's Karacic crossing forward to what looked like Jamie McLaren, but it was easily defended by Argentina. It's now Rodrigo de Paul tackled by Moy, but the ball's gone out of play. Hang on, and Rodrigo de Paul is I think starting to show fatigue as well. So we've now got 2 minutes to go, and we are waiting for Paul's choice of player of the match.
The player of the match for me is Alvarez. I think he's been a threat against Australia throughout the whole game. He's also managed to score, and I think for me he has been the player of the match today.
So well done to Julian Alvarez of Argentina to be given Paul's player of the match, as sponsored by our friends at Commentary Services. So as we now approach the final minute, as we now approach the penultimate minute, I should say, of of injury time. Australia now have the ball inside the 18-yard box. Could this be a last chance effort for the Socceroos? Argentina, I should say, see to that, but Australia are not giving up. And the ball is now being passed around to, I think that's either McLaren or Hrustic, but kept out by Montiel. The ball is now with I think that was Bahic, and it's now been crossed in, but saved again, but deflected away by Otamendi. Australia are really throwing everything at it. Can they force this into extra time? It's now with goal. It's saved again by Damian Martinez. For a moment, I thought Australia were going to take it to extra time, but Damian Martinez was there for Argentina when it mattered, and my heart goes out to Goran Kuol because he could well have been the man who saved his nation's dreams.
But what a save, Nick! What a save! They realise it. Those Argentinian players. Look at them; they're piling on top of Martinez. What a fantastic save, Nick! That is a match-winning save right there.
It certainly looked like it. It certainly looked like it is, and we're just about waiting for confirmation of full time. It's all over at the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium. Argentina progressed through to the quarterfinals, so we haven't seen the last of Lionel Messi yet. But for Australia, they have to be. But for Australia, it's game over for them, and they can go out the exit door and make their long journey home. But Australia, they really put their heart and soul into it. They could have taken it to extra time, but the luck just wasn't with them on the night.
No, and I think that they can come away with it, and they'll be devastated now. You can see the players on the pitch; they are devastated, but really, they can hold their heads high. They have performed extremely well against a a collection of world-class athletes. Outstanding quality that Argentina have with Messi, and Australia stood firm against them, pushed them all the way, and was very unlucky in the end not to get the game-tying goal to force the game into extra time. Argentina will look at it and say, yes, they maybe did enough to deserve the victory. I don't think anyone can really doubt that, but I think the effort by the Argentinian team was just absolutely you could see it from start to finish, and I feel sorry for those Australian players, but they can go home. When they fly back to Sydney, they should receive a warm reception from their supporters because they really gave everything in that game, absolutely everything.
They certainly did, and I've just got and I've just had confirmation that what we thought was a Craig Goodwin goal, it was actually an own goal by Enzo Fernandez. You said it came off his shoulder blade. That could well have been the case. So you may well have spotted something that the official scorekeepers did not. But for Argentina. But for Argentina, they can just keep going on, and they need to make up for that, and they need to make up for that short break of rest now, because their next game isn't until Friday when they face the Netherlands in the quarterfinals. How do you see that one being played out?
Well, what a game. I have to be honest. I think that is a wonderful game to watch because both sides are on good form. The Netherlands are a very, very strong team. I think they'll push Argentina all the way. I wouldn't want to predict that one, Nick. Don't ask me for a prediction for that one. I'm going to just sit right here on this nice little fence here for that one.
Yes, and before we go, we'll just take a moment to appreciate the journey that Australia had of making it through to the World Cup at this stage. They failed to qualify. They failed to qualify in the usual fashion. They had to go. They had to take it to the Intercontinental playoffs. They beat the United Arab Emirates in the playoff semi-final. They met Peru in the final. They got through that, and they had a solid group stage, as Paul mentioned. They got through on merit, but to make it through to the round of 16 for only the second time at the World Cup, it's just something that has to be admired. And I feel sure that Australia will just keep trying again and again. And also I feel sure that this has, and I also feel sure that this has now raised the awareness of football, or soccer as they say over there. But I think come 2026 they'll be back with renewed vigor.
I think so, and of course, there's also the additional qualifying places that are up for grabs in 2026. I think they're a very talented bunch of players, and I think they worked very hard today. They've shown what they're all about in the group stages. So I would expect to see them again in 2026 for sure, Nick.
Thank you very much to Paul James for his expert views and opinions. We've got plenty of commentary. We've got quite a few. We've got a couple of really good games coming up for you tomorrow. It's France against Poland with Russ Vernon and Paul, with Russ Vernon and Paul on commentary duties. But there is the big one at 7 o'clock tomorrow. England against Senegal. We await it. The commentary team is still yet to be decided. Do please keep up to date on our Twitter page at Commentary Live 1 for further announcements. We'll hope to have a confirmed lineup with you sometime in the afternoon. But that just about wraps it up here on the Commentary Hub. Some may have thought it was the last World Cup match for the great man Messi, but once again he has shown what a magician he is on the pitch, and he may well do the same against the Netherlands. From Paul James and myself, Nicholas Jones, thank you very much for listening. Take care. Good night.